On this Baltic island, you can almost feel the earth breathing as the equinox brings a calming stillness. The air is crisp, the light softer, and the energy feels in tune with the shifts in both the solar and lunar cycles. The island becomes a vessel for these cosmic vibrations. Its shores, winds, and waters acting for the universe's greater patterns. And even in this remote corner of the world, we are part of something infinitely larger, where the cycles of sun and moon are mirrored in our own internal seasons. Living on an island in the Baltic Sea during the fall equinox connects you deeply to the rhythms of nature, where the sky and surrounding waters amplify every subtle shift in the universe. The fall equinox, a moment of balance between day and night, is part of the ancient solar cycle, and now, with solar cycle 25 highly intensifying, this energy feels a bit extreme. It is as Earth is sending us a warning this time, with intensified geomagnetic storms. The sea rise and fall in perfect sync with the lunar pull. The moon's influence reminds us that there's a time for growth and a time for letting go, much like the natural ebb of the season. This is the 36th video in the series Basic Ways of Healing Yourself in Nature. This island, Bornholm, has been deeply connected to the conflicts in the Baltic Sea for decades. I've made another video discussing these historical tensions, and I'll include a few links in the description box for those who want to dive deeper. Bornholm's landscape reflects its complex history. We have long white sandy beaches in the south, vast forests at the center, and the harsh, towering cliffs in the north. These natural elements anchor us to this ancient land, reminding us that though we live here, we are only temporary visitors. The land carries a much older story, one of survival, etched into its rocks and windswept shores. As we move through the fall equinox, this connection feels even more intense. The balance between light and dark mirrors the deep cycles of the island itself. Here the equinox is not just a seasonal shift. It is a reminder of the ancient rituals that once filled these lands. The sun's alignment is deeply connected to Bornholm's past, especially at places like the Sun Temple at Rispebjerg. Centuries ago, people worshipped the sun here, honoring its life-giving force during the equinoxes, when the sun's energy was in perfect harmony. This ancient reverence reminds us that the power of the land, sky, and sea has long been felt by those who walked before us. We are part of a much bigger cycle, one that ties us to the earth, the stars, and the ancient wisdom of this landscape. Watching the sea crash against the cliffs and the stream swirling through the water can have a deeply healing effect. There's something soothing about the rhythmic motion of the waves, the way they relentlessly meet the rocks, slowly shaping them over time. It is a reflection of nature's power to endure, a quiet lesson in strength. The constant ebb and flow can calm your mind, drawing you into a meditative state where the stresses of life seem to dissolve with each wave. The streams in the water flowing with purpose, yet adapting to the contours of the land, symbolize life's ability to move forward, even when faced with obstacles. Just as the water finds its way, watching these natural patterns can help you feel a sense of release, encouraging you to let go and trust in the process of life's currents. There is healing in this connection to nature. The realization that, like the sea and the cliffs, we too are shaped by the forces around us. Yet we endure, adapt, and grow stronger over time. Living on this island transforms when the tourists leave at the beginning of September. As the crowds thin out and the summer energy fades, the island seems to exhale, settling back into its natural rhythm. The beaches that were once filled with visitors become quiet and vast again. The cliffs stand tall in their solitude, and the forest paths are once more empty, save for those of us who call this place home year-round. There's a quiet pride in knowing you can handle the island when the harsh winter winds blow and the days grew shorter. It's in these times when nature shows its wild, unpredictable side that you feel a deep sense of belonging, like the island itself has welcomed you into its heart. Life becomes more intimate. The shops close earlier, some of them close for the winter. The streets grow quieter, and the sea feels more untamed without the constant hum of visitors. But there's a beauty in that stillness. It's a time to settle in, to prepare for the colder months, and to embrace the calm that comes with the change of seasons. Living here year-round means you experience the island in all its moods, not just its summer glow. And in that, there is a sense of home, of being part of something older and wilder than the fleeting rush of summer. It's alive and sync with nature, and those of us who stay wouldn't trade that for anything. In recent years, more and more of us have been drawn to untamed nature. There is a deep, almost primal urge to reconnect with the wild landscapes, the mountains, forests, and seas that remain untouched by human hands. Perhaps it's because, on some level, we sense that the earth is moving through a cycle it has experienced before, a natural rhythm that we are powerless to stop. As we witness environmental changes and shifts, we begin to realize that these forces are far older and more powerful than we are. The Earth, in its vast history, has gone through many cycles of change, and it will continue to do so, with or without our influence. This awareness can be both humbling and unsettling, but it also causes us to learn how to adapt. The future generations, our children, seem to grasp this more intuitively than we do. They are growing up with an innate understanding that the world they inherit is fragile and in need of care. They know that sustainable living and respect for nature are not just options but imperatives. They are better equipped to face this future with open minds and hearts, ready to find ways to live harmoniously with the earth rather than against it. At the core of this is the idea of home. The feeling of being truly at home is deeply connected to peace, both within ourselves and with the world around us. To create a home in the truest sense is to create peace in our lives, our relationships, and our surroundings. This understanding is crucial as we navigate a world filled with conflict, both personal and global. Our ability to foster peace, even in the midst of uncertainty and struggle, is what gives our children hope. It's what teaches them that they can create a future where the earth, the only one we have, remains a place of balance and beauty. One star, the sun, and the moon overhead remind us of the fragile balance that keeps life in motion. They pull the tides, warm the soil, and mark the passage of time, constant in their rhythms and yet remind us of our own fragility. As the sun rises each day and the moon cycles through its phases, they echo the need for harmony in our lives. Just as they hold the balance between light and dark, day and night, we too must seek balance between conflict and peace, destruction and creation. Ultimately, peace is not just the absence of conflict, but the presence of understanding. An understanding of our place in the world and our responsibility to protect it. It is this peace, this sense of belonging and stewardship that will give our children hope for the future. And it is this peace that we must nurture for ourselves and for them, so that they can carry forward the knowledge and strength needed to care for the earth, our shared home. Stay kind and shine your light.